Welcome to the 2021 All-American Celebration, where we're going to honor two civic leaders in our community, Reverend Donald E and retired Kannapolis City Councilman Roger Haas. My name is Ray Allen, and I'm the board chair for your local chapter of the American Red Cross. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for participating, in particular to all of our sponsors who make this event possible and help the Red Cross and all their many volunteers serve our community and do the things that they do in our community. Most people, when they think of the American Red Cross, they think of the blood services and service to our military, which that is true. Those are services that the American Red Cross provides, but also they provide many services right here in our local community. In my former role as the fire chief, I had the opportunity to see firsthand how the Red Cross was able to help people who were devastated by home fires, lost everything that they had no place to turn, and the American Red Cross comes in and gives them a boost, gives them hope, gives them a place to stay for the night, and provides basic necessities in those circumstances. They also help during other natural disasters with sheltering and things like that. So the American Red Cross really does make a difference in our community. In fact, I would say that of all the nonprofits, that is the one that any of us at any moment is likely to need. And we're thankful to have them in our community. And so thank you for being here and making this event possible, and I hope you have a great time.
My name is Tracy Oberst, and I'm one of the event co-chairs for this year's Red Cross All-American Celebration. The reason that I got involved with the Red Cross some 15 years ago was because of a group of volunteers that I had the opportunity to meet. They showed me the passion that they had for their volunteerism, and it made me want to be part of that movement. So thank you for that. I would like to thank our awesome sponsors. Your support goes right back into our community to give hope to those in crisis. We are grateful to have Hendrick Motorsports as our title sponsor. Hendrick Motorsports has been a long-time sponsor of the Red Cross. Next, I'd like to thank our visionary sponsors, Atrium Health, City of Kannapolis, and Duke Energy. Next, I'd like to thank our legacy sponsors for your generosity. We are fortunate to have so many supporters in our community. Thank you, Friends of the Red Cross, for your investment. Together, we all can make a difference for those in need.
I'm Heather Masterson, Vice President of Shared Services at Hendrick Motorsports. When people ask us why we support the American Red Cross here in the Carolinas, the answer is simple. It's because of the essential life-saving work they do in our local communities. When emergencies happen, the Red Cross stands ready to help our neighbors and reunite families. They save lives by providing critical training and by ensuring that we have a safe supply of blood when it's most needed. And when our local service members and their families need assistance, the Red Cross is here for them too. Of course, we always think of the Red Cross when a major disaster strikes, but that's only part of the story. On a daily basis, they are helping people throughout our region cope with everything from house fires and floods to gas leaks and other crises. And now, more than ever, we need the Red Cross. During the pandemic, they've offered critical health and mental health services, food distribution, and much more. So on behalf of everyone at Hendrick Motorsports, we are grateful to all of the heroes at the Red Cross, and we're honored to support this wonderful event. It's inspiring to see so many people come together to celebrate the very important work they do and to make sure it continues.
My whole street was covered in fire trucks and ambulances. As a family, we made pancakes. We just had a normal morning, and we all left the house around 9:50, and by 10:15, our neighbors were all calling us in a panic saying that our house was on fire. I kind of prepared my 9-year-old. She's in the car at Lowe's with me, and I'm telling her, like, our house is on fire. You know, you're just gonna have to take Josie and just kind of walk down slowly, but kind of you're in charge of your baby sister. We didn't know the Red Cross would be there that day, to be honest. We had no idea that this man was going to show up and help us in the ways he did. He kind of sat us down and asked, like, how are you doing? And it was the first person who really felt like they knew that like we had just gone through such a traumatic event. The resources were the most helpful thing, because after everyone stops talking to you, it's just kind of like, where do you go? You know, you can't go home. So where do you go from here? He also gave us a debit card that would help cover any immediate expenses. You know, if we had to go to a hotel that night, thankfully we went to our parents' house. But, you know, they really helped us kind of just move forward. He was the kind of person who sat us down and said, like, okay, I know you're in shock, and this is how I'm gonna help you kind of move forward out of the shock. So he was definitely the sweetest man, and we will never forget him.
I'm Sheila Crunkleton, the Executive Director for the American Red Cross in the Southern Piedmont, and I am so grateful to be with you today. Even if it is virtually, it's not my ideal choice, but it is certainly better than not being together at all. It seems funny that last year in February we were able to hold the All-American. I think it was one of the last things that I publicly went to, and before COVID started. So but thank you for being here, and thank you for taking time for us to honor these two great individuals who have done so much for our community. And I want to especially thank Michael and Jennifer for everything that they have done to help this event succeed and be such a wonderful, wonderful event. And to our sponsors, Hendrick Automotive, thank you for always sticking with us and always being there, and all the other sponsors too. You guys, you can't have events like this without sponsors, and you have made this a true success. So let me tell you a little bit about what the Red Cross has been doing in the Southern Piedmont chapter. So last year was one of the busiest years yet for hurricanes. As most of you may be aware, we were very fortunate that we really didn't get hit in our area. However, when it happens in the rest of the country, that does involve our workforce and our volunteers locally. We had quite a few who deployed, even in these crazy times of COVID, but they went out and they actually helped these individuals that they would never probably ever meet again. But they're there to make sure they had a safe place to stay, and that they had the food that they needed, and they can start that road to recovery. So I'm incredibly grateful to those volunteers. And locally, family house fires keep our volunteers very busy. As you know, house fires do not discriminate. House fires can happen to anybody. We've seen them from a small house to a big mansion. It does not matter, and it can happen, and it can happen to anyone. So while we're talking about house fires, I think one of the most important things that I think of when I think of a house fire is working smoke alarms. And I encourage each of you, if you do not have working smoke alarms in your home, please get them. And if you want to talk to one of our local fire departments, I know they can gladly hook you up with those and make sure that you're taken care of. You have less than 2 minutes in a house fire to get out safely from your home. 2 minutes, 120 seconds, not very long. So I encourage you to make sure you have those. Make sure that you have access points in your house and you know how you're going to leave. Make sure that your children and your grandchildren know what to do in a fire. It is critical and it is life-saving. So those volunteers that go out and respond to those house fires, they go out and they literally make sure that they have a safe place to stay, that they have money for the basic essentials, whether that's food or whatever else it may be. And they work with caseworkers, and we work with other nonprofit agencies to help these families and get them started on that road to recovery. It is critical and it is essential. And a special shout out while we're talking about this to two of our local fire departments. And honestly, I could call out a lot more, but I'm going to especially call out the City of Concord Fire Department for everything they have done over the years to install smoke alarms. They have definitely made the community a lot safer. and the city of Kannapolis. Not too long ago, we were asked to go to a local fire department and look for ways to work with them where they installed the smoke alarms. And we gave them the alarms, they would install the smoke alarms, and we would see how that could go. So then it was a pilot to see how we can move forward with working with our fire departments again virtually. City of Kannapolis Fire Department did an amazing job. They got out there and they installed a lot of alarms, made a lot of homes safer, and it made such an impact from our regional standpoint and our division, where they were looked at like a shining star. And they have definitely made it possible for us to work with our other fire departments and make more lives safer. Blood is always needed. Blood is critical, and it does not stop for a pandemic. The needs are always going to be there, whether it's a cancer patient, whether it's a trauma patient, whether it's sickle cell, or whether it's just surgery and you may need a couple units of blood. Whatever the need is, we've got to make sure that it is there and it is available and it is accessible by everybody. And we do a lot of great work in this community for that. Now, a couple of the things that we've been doing with our blood drives, we've had to rework the way that the blood drives work. We have to make sure that everybody is social distance. We have to make sure from the time they walk in the door to the time they sit in that chair to give that life-saving gift to the time they leave, we've got to make sure that they're safe. Our staff, our volunteers, all donors are wearing masks. We use a lot of hand sanitizer, and every chair and every place that people can possibly sit is wiped down between each donor. We've done a great job. We've had a lot of drives canceled because of COVID. So I'm asking you, if you can possibly host a drive, we would love to talk with you. Please just give me a call. Let me know whatever we can do, because we need these drives and we need to get out into the community a little bit more with them. And we are willing to work with you and however we can to make these successful. And a special shout out to this would be to the City of Concord. Wow, what a great job they did. They stepped in at the end of March of last year and said, what do you need us to do? And we said, you know what? We're losing blood drives. We need you to hold a blood drive. It was an internal drive. They did it, and boy, they collected over 80 units that day. Since then, they've had several more drives, all of them very, very successful. So City of Concord, mayor, manager, everybody, council, thank you. Thank you for what you have done, because you truly are saving lives. And the picture you're seeing is Chief Gasek, Chief Williams, and the mayor at one of the blood drives, socially distanced, wearing masks, and we are very grateful for them for doing this. And of course, our military, we can't forget them. During times of COVID, our call volume has gone up tremendously, and our volunteers and our Hero Care Network are still taking those calls and taking care of those veterans and their families and relaying those emergency messages. It's crucial that they know that we support them here at home, and we do. And the American Red Cross is very, very proud of that mission. Locally here at the VA hospital, they're limited on visitors. They are allowing a couple of our Red Cross volunteers to help in different ways, and we're thankful for that. We did do the pajama collection again in December, and BB&T really stepped up with that one, and local people, everybody giving those pajamas for those veterans. Imagine coming in just with what you have on and you have nothing else with you. Those pajamas are a great, amazing gift for those people. So thank you to each of you for doing that. And of course, training services, our CPR classes, they look a little different. People are still having to wear the mask, making sure that they're safe. They're socially distanced in the classes, and we are doing everything in our power to make sure that those people are still learning and ready to save the lives as they need to. So right here in our community, we're staying incredibly busy. We always need more volunteers. And so I'm going to put a shameless plug for that. And we need more supporters. So I appreciate what you do for us. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here today. Many of you know we recently sold our building on Union Street. That was because a decision we made trying to be the best steward of donor dollars and realizing we may not have needed that much space anymore. We are currently located within Community Free Clinic. We're renting space from Nancy and her crew, and we're grateful for them. What we're going to do after COVID gets back, gets away and we can get back to our working selves, we'll see. We'll see where things go from there. But thank you all for being here. I cannot wait to hear these stories that you're going to get to hear today. I believe Michael is up, and Michael is going to introduce Reverend Donald Anthony, and I look forward to hearing that. So thank you all again. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. The American Red Cross we're so happy to be a part of this community. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael Smith. I'm a member here at Grace Lutheran Church. Grace Lutheran Church here in Concord, North Carolina. I've been a member here at Grace Lutheran Church all my life. Actually, almost 55 years here at Grace. I'm here to introduce an All-American hero being recognized by the American Red Cross, Donald Anthony. Donald Anthony is the pastor here at Grace Lutheran Church. He's been here at Grace for 23 years as the pastor here at Grace. Donald is my spiritual leader. He's my pastor. He's a confidant. He's a mentor, and he's just a good friend. Also, he's my brother in Christ. What I would like to share about Donald is a member of the community. Donald has served many roles throughout Cabarrus County, also in the city of Concord. He is one of the best servants I know, not only a servant of the community, but a servant of the Lord. He shares a lot with a lot of people. One thing I would like to share about Donald, one of his major attributes is he's a cook, excellent cook. He invites my family over to eat meals with his family, and he reminds me a lot of my own father as far as my father used to cook. But Donald's food is excellent, especially during holiday times. One of the other things I know of Donald was becoming a pastor at a young age. He used to play church with his sister in the basement in Kannapolis when they were around 7 or 8 years old. When he was 7 or 8 years old, he used to be a pastor, and he would tell his sister, "We don't have enough chairs in the congregation. We got to bring more chairs in." And I got a real chuckle out of that. The Spirit hit him very young in his age, at 7 or 8. And here he is today as the pastor of Grace Lutheran Church. I do know the American Red Cross chose a member of this community, and he is well known, and he's a pastor that is known to people all throughout Cabarrus County and Rowan County, and also throughout the state of North Carolina, if that's to be said. I do want to end up by saying that I'm always respect my pastor, and hopefully he will always provide great leadership, not only in church, but also throughout the community here at Cabarrus County.
Greetings, Mr. Ray Allen, Mr. Michael Smith, Ms. Jennifer Parsley, and Mr. Roger Haas, to our sponsors, guests, and American Red Cross personnel. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Southern Piedmont Greater Carolinas Red Cross for giving me this very distinct honor. While I am a native of Kannapolis, North Carolina, I am more than honored to be recognized as hometown hero here in Concord. I have the privilege of serving as pastor of Grace Lutheran Church, Concord, and have done so for the past 23 years. I also have the awesome privilege of serving as the supply pastor of Crown and Glory Lutheran Church in Salisbury, and have done so for the past 20 years. Both of these congregations are very community-oriented, and they are both very supportive of my working within the community. When I came to Grace in 1997, the congregation already had a long history of promoting the gospel and working for the good of the larger community. The pastor who preceded me, the Reverend Frederick Hett, was well known throughout the community and was instrumental in the formation of several organizations that continue to serve the community today. Again, I am thankful that the congregation has afforded me the privilege of serving as a full-time pastor with the blessing of the congregation to work in and for the community. One of the many positive attributes of Cabarrus County is the collaborative nature that we find among our community partners. I have had the pleasure of working with several community organizations throughout the years, such as the Logan Community Association, Big Brother, Big Sister of Cabarrus County, Atrium Health, the NAACP, the Martin Luther King Jr. Planning Committee, Cooperative Christian Ministry, the United Way of Carolinas, of Central Carolinas, the City of Concord, Historic Cabarrus, the Arts Council, as well as others. And these organizations have on numerous occasions joined forces to make a huge impact throughout our communities. It's no doubt that we have done more collectively than we could have done individually. I am very thankful to be part of a community that recognizes that all of us are important, and together we can make a huge difference. In the midst of this pandemic, we have joined forces on several occasions and provided relief, resources, food, and clothing to families and individuals throughout our communities. We all know that when we work together, we can accomplish so much more than when we work individually. Today, I am especially thankful to be here among members and supporters of the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross consistently joins forces with other community partners in times of disaster, as well as providing services and resources and aid in non-disaster related situations. We have benefited from the babysitting classes, the first aid classes, and of course, the life-saving blood drives. Throughout my tenure as pastor, there have been several occasions when I have had to call on the American Red Cross to help families who had experienced the tragic loss of their home and their possessions because of a house fire or other disaster. Normally, the Red Cross is the first agency that is contacted, and then others join in and lend their support. Personally, I learned my blood type over 40 years ago from members of the Red Cross. I remember the Red Cross coming to my high school, A.L. Brown in Kannapolis, and I was excited about the possibility of giving the gift of life, being a blood donor. I have to admit now that I do not like needles. I still don't. But I wanted to participate in an event that I thought was so important. I also remember learning that there was a need for African Americans to give blood. I started giving blood at 18 years old, and I am thankful to have collected several gold pins from the American Red Cross because of the blood that I've been able to donate over the years. I'm also thankful for the lessons learned from the American Red Cross. We are now experiencing or have experienced the worst pandemic that any of us have ever known. And yet the Red Cross continues to respond to the needs of the world. So I encourage you, if you can, to give the gift of life and also to continue to support the American Red Cross. Again, to Mr. Allen, to Mr. Smith, to Mr. Haas, to all the wonderful essential workers of the Red Cross, thank you. I am humbled to have been selected for this prestigious award and thankful for all that the American Red Cross does, has done, and will continue to do to make our world more manageable, more comfortable, especially during times of crisis.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Parsley, and I have the honor of introducing a man I've known my entire life. From corporate America to small business owner, all while serving in public office and on several boards, such as the Planning Board for the county, the Tourism Authority Board, and several nonprofits, the list of awards and titles is long. Prestigious awards like the Order of the Longleaf Pine, titles like CEO and council member. But the most cherished titles? Papa. husband, dad, friend, brother, and neighbor. If you know my dad, he's never short on analogies, can tell a great story, and always speaks with eloquence. And let's not forget his humor. He's certainly not short on that. If you're friends with him on social media, you get your daily dose of dad jokes, which plays out so well for my teenage daughter now, and also did for me in my teenage life. His foundation is rooted in spirituality and service. Qualities like courage, passion, and integrity can describe him. He's always encouraged us to be a part, whatever the interest, but just never to wait for someone else to step up. This community sees him as a leader, listening, making hard decisions, and pretty much telling it like it is. And I see him as all those things. Plus, he's the papa that lays on the floor for hours on end, playing games with the grandkids. And he's the man who prays before family meals, grateful for another day. Thank you for teaching us that community impact is vital. And more importantly, thank you for being a man who believes the most important work you'll ever do is within the walls of your home. Please join me in congratulating one of this year's All-American heroes, my dad, Roger Haas.
First, I'd like to thank my daughter, Jennifer, for that introduction. The rule in our house when we were all together is you do public service and you do volunteerism, and that work is payment for the rent that you owe for taking up space on this planet. But she's never had any past due rent, I will say, and I'm proud of the public service that she has provided for the community as well. And I would also like to congratulate Reverend Anthony on receiving his award. He has been such a positive force in our community for so many years, and he's certainly deserving. Back in November, I received a call from Red Cross and asked if I would participate in a virtual meeting regarding the Hometown Hero celebration. And I had assisted in last year's banquet, so I thought they were going to ask me maybe for a few recommendations of people who, should be honored this year. And I had a couple of names in mind when we started the meeting, but the more the meeting progressed, the more I realized they were talking about me. And when I was asked, I accepted quickly. And I guess that means that there's probably more people who are more deserving of this award than I, but there couldn't be any who are more grateful than I am to receive this award. And I'm honored to be chosen this year. This is probably a year that no one could have ever predicted the outcome as we came down to the end of the year. During the coronavirus pandemic, life's emergencies don't stop, and neither does the work of the Red Cross. And every day people still rely on the Red Cross to help prevent and alleviate their suffering. And it's wonderful to see the volunteers and the employees working so tirelessly to support those that they're called to serve, as well as the ones who were donors, generous donors who made the Red Cross mission possible in these unusual circumstances. It would be wonderful to hope that there would be less disasters in this coming year. But I also hope that everyone is reassured that if something does happen, there's an organization that's going to react quickly to those who are in need. The story is told of a little boy who was waiting on his father to pick him up from school. And while he was waiting, the boy's teacher asked him why he thought his father might be late in picking him up. And the boy responded, well, my father's probably caught in traffic. Well, the teacher continued working on some things, and later she came back to the little boy and she said, well, are you okay? Your father's never been this late picking you up. And the boy looked at his teacher and he said, my father has never let me down. I know he's coming. About that time, the classroom door flew open, and it was the father running to pick up the child, and he apologized to his son and apologized to the teacher and explained to them that he had actually been in an accident and it had rendered his car undrivable, but he knew his son was expecting to be picked up, so he ran all the way to school. Now, to me, that story is a picture of the Red Cross and its function. Tragedies are a lot like that story. Sometimes we feel like hope has forgotten us. As I used to say, we feel like hope has lost our address and doesn't even know where we live. And that's when we remind ourselves of an organization like the Red Cross that help is coming. With the Red Cross, we know hope will never leave us or ever forget that hope is on the way. Each one of us have the ability to make a difference. How you choose to do that is up to you. I'm glad that the Red Cross fits in that picture for me and should for you as well. So I accept this award really on behalf of all of you. And I'd like to remind everyone that what we're doing today is really planting a seed for the future for those folks who are going to be in need. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
What great speakers, all of them. Michael, Jennifer, Reverend Anthony, Roger Haas, thank you all for your kind and powerful words. Thank you for everything you've done for our community. We are forever grateful for you. I say grateful a lot, and I know that because I am very, very grateful for what people do in our communities. And when people can give back, I think that makes your life so much better. So I am grateful for each of you, and I'm grateful for these speakers. So we're going to watch a video now, and I hope you'll stay with us for about 10 more minutes. This video is very powerful for me. It was taped pre-COVID, so obviously not masked and not socially distanced, but I think you'll get the message. Blood saves lives. People don't give for a variety of reasons, but we need you to give. We need people to step up, and we need people to consider giving to support our sickle cell patients. And I would love to talk to you a little bit more about that if you ever want to know more, because those needs never are going to go away. And we need to be there to support those patients with that life-saving gift. So I hope you enjoy this video as much as I do. Thank you.
Why have you never donated blood before?
Intimidated to go in.
The fear of needles.
Needles are probably just gonna check your veins.
There's no needles yet. Well, I have a very special helper here today that I think might be able to help you through the process.
Really?
Oh, hi.
Well, hi there.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Are you scared?
A little nervous.
Well, I'm gonna help you get through it today. They know what they're doing. Nothing's gonna explode.
Oh, good.
You ready to get started?
Hold your hand.
Yes, please. Thank you.
It's okay.
If you want to hold my friend AJ, you can.
Thank you.
You're gonna feel a pinch and a sting.
Okay, so whatever you do, don't look at the arm. Eye contact.
All right.
I'm here to entertain you.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Moo.
Girl, I love your ripped jeans. Are your knees a little cold?
1, 2,
3.
1, 2.
Dang it.
Miss Emma, you are almost there.
Wow. Girl, you're almost done. Was that as hard as you thought it would be?
No.
It's easier.
I should bring you every time I get a shot.
Well, there's actually a reason your helper here today is so familiar with the blood donation process.
So I have a blood disease that is called sickle cell anemia type SS. I've been hospitalized over 72 times and have blood transfusions over 70 times. A blood transfusion actually saved my mom.
Oh, wow.
When I was 5 months old, I went into kidney failure. I needed to have a lot of blood transfusions.
And when I get the blood transfusions, it makes me feel like I'm me again, like I'm a kid, I can do anything. Thank you so much.
Thank you for donating.
From the bottom of my heart.
Hey, girl, give me a hug.
Well, I think everything we've talked about that kept my focus the most.
And not only I'm thankful, but my mom is too.
Oh, is your mom here with you?
Oh my God! Actually, all my family is very grateful.
No way.
On behalf of whoever's going to get your blood, thank you so much. It means so much to us.
Without you, she would not be here.
I never got to thank that person that gave me their blood. And I could at least thank you. It means so much to my family. So thank you. We're so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Group hug.
This makes it 1,000,000% worthwhile. I'm literally honored and privileged to be able to do this.
Would you do it again?
Oh, definitely. I would happily do it again.
I feel like we should pinky promise. You're all done.
I can hug you with both arms.
Hello everyone, I am Lisa Crass and I'm this year's All-American Celebration event co-chair. It is hard not to be touched by the stories you hear of the Red Cross in our community. I support this organization for the hundreds of people that they help each year right here in Cabarrus County or the Southern Piedmont region when it comes to donating blood and assisting with home fires. I support this organization because without them, so many would be left defenseless in their greatest hour of need. I support the Red Cross and I hope that you will join me in doing so as well. You can do that by participating in the online auction or making a donation. You can go to www.allamerican2021.givesmart.com. Again, that's www.allamerican2021.givesmart.com. Thank you all for joining us here today virtually. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Congratulations, Reverend Anthony and Civic Leader Roger Haas. And please remember the Red Cross in the future. By helping them, it is helping your neighbor. The silent auction will close today at 1:30 p.m. So please bid early and bid often. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you again for joining us. Stay safe and stay healthy.